Hey guys, it's Nat. Um, I'm working on some projects, and you know what? I gotta tell you something also that happened to me the other day. I had a knock on the door by the police. Oh, yay! The wee hours of the morning. Yeah, that's that's a whole. I'm gonna tell you about that. But wait a minute. First, I'm working on some projects. You're probably gonna see behind me in my RV is an absolute mess. I'm just in that mood where I'm pulling everything out and redoing it, and that was prompted by an Goodwill find that I found yesterday. I had this space over here by my front door that kind of was like a waste of space. It wasn't being utilized. I had this shelf over here, so I was able to keep my baskets there. But I also had a desk. Now, this desk came built in with the RV. It's one of those desks where you pull it up and you pull it out like this and you sit something on it. So that was affixed over there to that wall. Now, the only thing I had on this thing was this. You see my lamp? My beautiful lamp. It's heavy, heavy. It's glass, solid glass. It's very heavy. But I had that affixed to, or I had that, on my table here. And it just stayed on my table, and I had it sitting over there. And a bowl, a bowl that we kind of threw our keys in and stuff, like miscellaneous things. And I really didn't want to take this off. I wanted to use it. But, I've been in this RV since, I bought it October 25th. We went full-time November 15th. So it just hasn't been used, and it was a waste of space. And I thought, well, we do work on it, and I do work on the table, so it just was really a big waste of space. So what prompted this, and I've been searching, is I found this little wicker shelving unit. And one project always trickles to another project, and me taking this TV down, which is sitting right here, that I thought I was going to put in the back of the RV, I believe I'm going to hang up here right above this shelving unit, kind of make this an entertainment center kind of a thing, especially that my son can utilize. Because our space in the RV is kind of broken up to allow us to have our own space when we just want to be left alone. I'm in the front, Jamin's in the middle, Tamara's in the back, so we kind of have a space when we want to just have some alone time or just, so I figured, sometimes when I'm in the front and it's my space and I'm closed off to the back, my son can still have something to do besides, just some entertainment every once in a while. So anyways, I found this shelf. Let me show you. Let's see. See the shelving unit? There's another dorbs. Let me get this better picture. Anyways, so there's like 4 little drawers that pull out that I can utilize. And I have one of my baskets down there. And I'm probably going to put, like, I don't know, DVDs or his Xbox system and whatever. I have a little thing. I'm just put it in there for now, just kind of see how I can utilize it. Maybe find some more boxes. But I'm actually going to find a top mount and put the TV and mount it underneath that shelf and put that TV there. That is my plan. If I can find things inexpensively. I think Fry's, when I went there the other day to buy my Roku, had one there for $10 because it was like a mount that didn't swivel. It didn't have all the extra hoo-ha about it, so it was really cheap. And next to that shelf, I'm going to put my rack back, this shelving unit that I love. I've always had one of these in all the places I've ever lived. It's just so neat. I just like them. And I have my other baskets that I kept in here too. So I had my baskets just sitting on this little shelving unit, and it stayed affixed to the wall with a bungee cord, and it just worked really well. It didn't move, never tipped over. So, even when I'm turning those tight corners and I'm doing that with speed, it stays well. And just to let you guys know, I'm sorry, I'm lopsided. My videos clearly are not script. I'm just kind of going by whatever comes out of my mouth. And sometimes I'll go into a topic that will just rear left. But bear with me, I'll come back to what I was originally talking about. And I say that to say this. If anybody was wondering, how does she have this heavy lamp sitting affixed to this table, and it's a glass lamp, I'm going to tell you, this stuff is just spectacular. And I purchased it. It's called Quake. You see that? I got this off of Amazon. Quake codes, like $5-6. They also say that they have it at like Home Depot and Lowe's, but I've never actually found it in the store. You go in the store, there's gonna sell you some putty for like plastering the walls of some sort. I don't know. They don't ever seem to know what I'm talking about when I say this is on your website. And then it's also, you can also buy this, the same exact same thing, two different names, the museum putty. And so this stuff was apparently made to hold, I want to say like California with their quakes. This putty was made to put on people's china and your knickknacks. And so when you had your earthquakes, things didn't fall. I don't know if that's the truth. All I know is whoever invented this is a genius, an absolute genius. I had like 3 little ball size, I don't know, like quarter size. I don't know, probably not even that much. And you take these 3 little balls, probably about that big of a ball, 3 of them, and I had that affixed to the bottom of my lamp. Just dot, 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 right there. And what you do is, after I put it on there, I set it on my shelf and I pushed down until the balls went flat. And this lamp has been sitting in this RV since October, the end of October, affixed to that with all of my driving, all my turning corners, all of my maybe a heavy brake once in a while. Never moved. And if this could never move, everything in this RV is affixed with this silly putty. My pictures on the wall, my stuff in my kitchen that holds my utensils. That way, every time we move, I don't have to put stuff away. And that was something that was really important. That's probably one of the very first things that I thought about. Is what about every time I move, we had to put all this stuff away. We still had to put stuff away, but way less than what I had to before because of this quake putty. Now, ladies and gentlemen, back to our regular scheduled broadcast. Sorry. Okay, so that was a little side thing. Anyways, so I'm using these zip ties to tighten the shelf because it was kind of wiggly wobbly, I guess, and I just wanted to make sure this was super tight, so I just did the zip ties, this whole little shelving unit, so I can put it back into that corner so it's nice and tight. So yeah, I use the little zip ties for that. And I'm going to put this back in the corner. I'm going to put my shelves back on it, find them out, put my TV up. So that's one of the projects I'm working on today. But getting back to the, I know you're probably wondering about the police officer. So I had worked really late the other night, and usually we stay at different Walmarts. You know, I have a small rotation. But there's one place that I really, really like, and it's very comfortable for me. But I worked so late that night. So what I did, and I don't typically do, is I knew I had to get up real early the next morning to go to work, and I went and I parked at Planet Fitness. Mistake. And I know, people are like, oh, yeah, it's not what you're supposed to do. I get it. But I did. I'd gotten here so late. They'd already been closed. I knew I was going to be there as soon as they opened first thing in the morning. I was going to go in. So we did stay here overnight, and I wouldn't even say overnight. It was just the wee hours of the morning, you know, but I did try to get some shut-eye. And so I didn't hear, my son heard a knock at the door, so he wakes me up. And my son, after the police officer left, my son was like, he was just tapping very lightly on the door. So I opened the door. I'm looking to see who it is first, because we don't know. He didn't announce himself, so I think he heard us all getting up. And then he said, such and such police. And so I opened the door, told him one moment, I had to put Duke away because Duke was going mad at this point. And I opened the door, and he was very nice, very kind. He was like, ma'am, God, I can't even remember exactly what he said because it was so early in the morning. It was pitch black outside. And he just asked, the first thing he asked me was, a member of the gym? And I said, yeah, I'm a member of the gym, and I have stickers of Planet Fitness on my RV too, just so people knew that when I'm parked here, it's because I'm at the gym, and that's come into handy a couple of times before. Um, and so he said, well, because the gym is closed, like I don't know, so Planet Fitness closes Fridays and Saturdays and Sunday nights. They actually close at like 9 or 10 or 11 or something like that at night. From Monday to Thursday, they say they're a 24/7 fitness gym or 24 hours, but they're not, because they close on the weekends and they open up right early in the morning. So it so happened to have been the weekend that I was working so early and so late, and so I was here, and he basically said, well, he was like, well, management called us and wanted us to come and say something. And he's like, there's a Walmart. I mean, he's telling me, there's a Walmart up the street if you ever wanted to park up there. And I told him, I said, well, I thought we weren't allowed to park up there. I called that management at Walmart, and, they said that there's no RV overnight parking. And he says, basically he was like, well, okay, we don't police it unless we're called, but, but you see. Basically, he was telling me it's okay to park up there, which I didn't do, and I would like to because it's a lot closer to where I am. But, he was also pointing out some other places that we could go, and he was like, if you're going to park here, just make sure when you're parked here, it's during business hours, not when they're closed. He was such an awesome officer. I mean, he was just basically telling me what to do and how to do it. And it's funny because he didn't ask my name. He didn't do anything. He was like, okay, thank you, ma'am. And he calmly walked away, and I shut the door, and, by then my day's crap and ruined, because that's the prelude to your day. I'm sorry, the prelude to your day. And so that's what my day was going to be like: a police officer waking me up at the wee hours of the morning. And it wasn't the police officer, it was the employee at the Planet Fitness that called. So a few minutes after the police officer walked away and drove off without citing me or telling me to move, the Planet Fitness employee, and he's not a manager or anything like that. He's just some, sad, lonely employee, clearly, came up and knocked on my door. Why? It wasn't good enough that you called the police on me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, just leave it alone. And so, of course, very nice me. I go to the window and I roll it down. He was like, can I have your... He was very rude. I mean, he was just like, hey, you piece of trash, give me your name. He didn't say it like that, but you know how you can see... You just know what somebody's thinking. This is bum. I don't believe him. Cause the officer didn't even ask me my name, didn't ask to see my ID, didn't do any of that. And so I told him my name, and it wasn't good enough for me to tell him my name. Then he wanted me to get my keys, get my card, give him my key card number off my keychain for the gym, all that stuff. You're asking too much and you're doing too much. You're sad and you're lonely and you're inconsiderate and you're just ugly, because it was not enough for him to call the police. And I can tell you, after all was said and done, after we pay all of our membership dues and our membership fees and the amount of money that you have to pay just to be a member every January, and then your monthly fees, like everybody else, and I don't park here overnight. It was that one time, and it wasn't even overnight because it was the wee hour. It was the morning hours, but I get it. I'm going to have some people say, well, you shouldn't have been parked there. But it was... He just got there to open up the gym, and that's when I planned on going in the gym because I had to get up. So even though I was going to have to wake up that early in the morning, it wasn't fun being woke up by a police officer, and then to be harassed by the employee, and then to be treated ugly and funny when you go in there every single time afterwards, and, questioned and harassed. And I pay my money to be a part of that gym, so I shouldn't... This is supposed to be a judgment-free zone, and I'm being judged every time I walk through those front doors, and it's just it's annoying to me. But after all the air was cleared and I started my day, and I can just tell you, I just didn't have a good day that day. But I was talking, and what I realized after going back through the scenario is what pissed off that employee more than anything is... that he expected the officer to do more. he wanted the officer to punish me in some way, or to tell me to leave in some way. That's what his goal, that's what he wanted that officer to do, and the officer didn't do that. And not only did the officer not do that, he didn't even ask me my name. So that's why the employee walked over here and asked me for my name, because he wanted to know who I am. Now, I've been to this gym numerous times. I do not hide that I'm in this Class A RV. You guys know that. I say that all the time. I can't hide this. And when I go somewhere, I always say something. On numerous occasions, I've said to staff when I came in, hey, that's my RV in the back, in case anybody has questions. You know, I just want to make sure it's okay that I park back there. Every single one of them said, that's fine. You're not bothering anybody. There's plenty of space. And I always go when this is a pretty empty gym, and there's usually like a dozen people at this gym, so it's a pretty empty parking lot when I'm here. And I've announced it. The employees know. I don't know why he doesn't know. Maybe he did know. I don't know. But I do know that they know that I'm in this RV. This isn't a hidden secret. But while the officer was speaking to me, and after all was said and done again, I realized the officer kind of probably was annoyed by the phone call from the employee to come and knock at my door, because I didn't get the sense that he wanted to do it. You know, he was very lightly tapping at the door, you know, and I can only imagine him rolling his eyes like, ugh, damn, you know, I have to do this morning. I don't think he wanted to. And when he was so nice about telling me where I can go and how I should do it, you know, just giving me some other ways of, you know, he seemed to be real genuine and caring, and I think he was the absolute opposite of what that employee wanted him to be. I think he wanted him to come down on me with a hammer and make me leave the premises, but I'm a member, so unless I want to cancel my membership, and I'll let you know, who knows, maybe that employee will be back. I haven't seen the employee. I've been in this Planet Fitness a few times afterwards, because this is our main one. I'm going to be here. This is what I drive. The RV is not against the law to be here. So it was Planet Fitness hours when he called the police officer here. I had a membership and we were going in the gym. So, you know, the employee just didn't get the outcome that he wanted, and that was me to be kicked off. So anyways, that was kind of a police knock, one of a couple I've had so far. Even though I do everything, I mean, it's just going to happen. You're going to have police officers knocking. And, but I always go somewhere, I always make sure that I know what the city ordinances are. And I call the police department. And that's what I think you should do. And that's what I do. And I've said that in a previous video. I think it was my Christmas Day video. You know, always know where you're parking. Try to always stay somewhere well lit. I actually got a tip for another parking space from a business that's really close to our home, our previous home and school, that I'm going to take advantage of. But the offer was made to me by an employee and not a manager. So, of course, I'm actually going to call the manager and make sure that the manager's okay with putting his location in rotation of my parking spaces. Obviously not parking there all the time, but having them in rotation. Because the last thing I want to do is have an employee call the police on me at the wee hours in the morning at that place. So, you know, even though the employee made an offer and said, oh, nobody will care, obviously I'm going to make sure that is from management, because somebody will care. And at the end of the day, when somebody calls the police on you and they say, well, who is that person? That person doesn't own this place. That person doesn't pay the lease on this building. So you always have to go to the top person. You know what your laws are, know what your ordinances are. Call the police department. I've been sent down to code enforcement to find out what the rules are with the parks and stuff like that, which I know in Sandy Springs, you can't even have an RV in the park, even during the day. Obviously not overnight, but not even during the day. So surrounding areas we can go to. But I just say to you this, always know where you're parking and know your surroundings and the people that are around, just to make your nomad living experience more of a pleasant one. Anyways, thanks for watching my little scatterbrained video that was all over the place. And I'll come back with a video, a little update. Maybe I'll put a picture after this showing you what this finally came out looking like. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to, see any more videos. And hit that notification button so you can see when I send more videos. And please share. Thanks.